Well, it's happening. What's going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, and ladies and gentlemen, the official website for Marvel Rivals has gone ahead and dropped those famous words. Greetings, rivals. We're thrilled to announce that the upcoming patch drops on April 24th, 2025 at 9 a.m. UTC, and this update, like the last few, will be applied seamlessly with no server downtime. So once the update finishes, simply log in to continue your heroic journey. Now, what's inside this update? Well, we're gonna break it all down in this video. Of course, like always, guys, if you do enjoy today's video, please take a quick moment, scroll on down, smash that thumbs up button. Thank you guys so very much for the support. Within this update, we've got new skins, we've got the new game mode that will be coming out, and yes, we will also be getting some very interesting tweaks to hero proficiency, and there's general fixes as well as bug fixes to specific heroes. So there's quite a few things to break down, as you can see based on all the text blocks. So let's not waste any time and dive on in. So first and foremost, the first thing that they mention on the update notes or the patch notes themselves is, of course, the brand new game mode. Yes, we've got the giant size Brain Blast that will be going live with this new update. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I think that if you're any sort of sniper-like character, so like Hela or Hawkeye, you're going to have an absolute field day with this because you're going to have a much larger hitbox to work with. So enjoy, have fun with that. I think you guys are going to rack up some incredible amounts of kills and probably some really incredible gameplay clips. So make sure to tag me if you end up getting any of those done. Now, this game mode was actually announced yesterday. I actually did put together a very quick video for you guys about this particular announcement, but today with the patch notes, we do get a little bit of new information about when the leaderboards for this game mode will actually be happening, because obviously they announced that there is going to be a leaderboard specifically for this game mode, and for the people that place in certain placements within the leaderboard, there will be titles that you will be able to earn by placing in those top 500, top 100, or the top 10 placement. Now, the cool thing is that now with this update or with this patch notes, we have actual information about when these leaderboards will be happening. So the first leaderboard will be happening from the date that the update drops on the 25th of April and will be ending on the 28th of April. And then the second leaderboard will be going on between the 2nd of May and will be ending on the 5th of May. So it looks like you have about a 3-day window both times to try to earn those titles. And yes, obviously keep in mind that everyone who is going to compete in the Brain Blast mode, you will be able to still earn the free emote, the Brain Blast emote, just by simply completing 10 matches. Now, the next portion of the patch notes talks about new content. First and foremost, obviously, we've got the premium side of things. So new in the store, we've got Hela, which we already talked about in that short video yesterday. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. But yes, we got the really cool trailer for her revealed. Today, along with the patch notes, we got the trailer for Loki. And yes, he does look pretty freaking awesome. So for all of you Loki players, you'll probably be stoked to add this Peach Momoko inspired design into your collections. And then, interestingly enough, they also clarify and say that new in the store are going to be a big bunch of Brain Blast emotes. So I guess basically what this confirms is that you'll be able to earn one free Brain Blast emote by simply completing 10 rounds. But if you wanted to buy more of these emotes for some of the other heroes that you might play, or maybe if you have like multiple main characters, you'll be able to still purchase them within the shop itself. So I guess for the people that were worried that you're gonna not have the option to have a multitude of these Brain Blast emotes, fear not, you're gonna be able to spend some money to unlock them. Now, in the patch notes, there's this one specific area that is titled resource adjustments, and I have no idea what they actually mean by this. So if you're a Luna Snow player, please let me know down in the comment section below, because it reads, Luna Snow's Cybertoons emote has been revamped to loop continuously, ensuring that she never skips a beat. So this sounds to me just like a fix for Luna Snow herself. I don't understand why it gets its own category of resource adjustments, but let me know. I would love to have a clarification on that. Now, one of the things that I have seen a lot of people freak out over is this next text block that is featured in the patch note about hero proficiency tweaks. We knew that these were coming. We didn't know when, but it will be this update that will bring them to us. It reads, to better reflect your mastery in the heat of different battles, we're overhauling the hero proficiency system. The missions are now segmented into quick match / competitive and conquest / doom map. Quick match / competitive missions have no cap on repetition, while conquest / doom match missions feature a daily repeat limit. Your hero proficiency is about to get as lordly as your feat. Now, of course, after people saw this news, some people are freaking out saying, oh my goodness, they're gonna make it so much harder to unlock Lord. What is happening? Why would they do this? Blah, 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 blah. Panic ensues. Well, from what I understand and from what I can read here, essentially what was happening is that there was a part of the community that was exploiting the conquest and the doom matches, and were using those game modes to kind of game the system and level up and get proficiency much quicker in order to get their Lord icons. So I guess in order to try to thwart that, they're essentially going to implement a limit on the missions that can be completed within those mission types or within those game types. That's literally all that this says. Whereas for the vast majority of us, like myself, like I pretty much play almost exclusively quick match and competitive. So for me, there's pretty much no changes that are happening at all. I think the vast majority of people seem to be kind of overreacting to this, not having actually understood what the change is that is being implemented. Now, speaking of changes, there's a lot of fixes that are going to be implemented with this update as well. So we're going to begin with the all platforms and the general category, which goes as follows. First and foremost, there's going to be a fix where some people were getting stuck on the round switching transition screen. That will be fixed with this update. That seems like a pretty disastrous problem to run into. So if you're one of the people that suffered this problem, sorry that it happened to you, but it seems like it will be fixed starting with this new patch. In addition to that, over on the Krakoa map specifically, oftentimes when you would be on that map, if you would try to access your emote wheel, it would occasionally not actually function, allowing you to only activate the bottom right portion of your emote wheel. So that's a weird glitch. That is going to be fixed with this patch. There are a couple of general fixes that are coming to the faction system. Essentially, there were issues with people being unable to change their names even after the expiration period had already passed. So that will be fixed. If you were part of a faction and you've been meaning to change your name and you've run into this issue, you'll be happy to know that it's being fixed. And in addition to that, there was some sort of a weird bug with faction recruits where you would only see a specific tag that restricts it to only the leader can select this particular feature. So again, just general fixes coming to the factions mode. And then there are a couple more small changes, one that applies specifically to custom games to help out coaches to be able to be more precise with how they coach, I guess, competitive matches. And then in addition to that, there was a visual bug that would rarely occur where at the end of a season, you would essentially try to switch tabs very quickly, and that would cause the entire navigation bar to disappear altogether. So again, a very rare issue, but it's being addressed with this patch. This feels like deja vu because I swear every single patch note has this point, but yes, maps and modes once again are being addressed because they're fixing several terrain issues that could cause characters to sometimes become stuck or clip in strange areas. Yes, it continues to happen, and yes, I hope that someday they will finally fix this. And then we are also getting some hero-specific fixes, some of which actually seem kind of major, so I'm sure people will be stoked to know about these ones. So first and foremost, we have Emma Frost. There is apparently a glitch where when she is in her diamond form and she's trying to deliver the carbon crush attack, that's the one where she like grabs characters and slams them into the ground. Well, apparently that slam sometimes would actually send characters into the map and sometimes completely off the map. So yeah, that's obviously hilarious, don't get me wrong, but at the same time needs to be fixed. So this patch will address that problem. Mr. Fantastic players will be happy to know that if you've run into a situation where you've got a Doctor Strange on your team, or I guess on the enemy team, and they've created a portal and you've tried to use your flexible elongation through that portal, well, apparently you couldn't really aim well, and it would actually twist your aim in random directions while you were doing so. With this patch, that will be fixed, so you'll be a-okay and you'll be able to be precise. Iron Fist players will be happy to know that if you've run into an issue where you were trying to deliver your Kunlun kick And then because of high latency or the way that the servers operate, it would actually essentially cancel out and rubber band back to the moment when you had not used your kick, which would be extremely frustrating, especially if it led to you then dying in that particular battle. Well, with this patch, it seems like they've gotten that particular issue solved. This next issue is so unbelievably specific, but I'm again glad that they're able to fix this, especially because as of late, I've been spending a lot of time trying to learn how to play Psylocke. So you'll be happy to know that if you've run into the issue where when you were using Psylocke's Wing Shuriken's ability and you were trying to specifically try to damage Loki in his arm hitboxes, it wouldn't actually register. Well, guess what? That will be addressed and that will no longer be a problem. It's kind of insane that they're able to find such small issues in the game, but again, obviously with how popular Psylocke is and how popular Loki is, it's important to make sure that both characters function properly. A small fix is coming to Star-Lord, more specifically the Spartex Slumber version of Star-Lord. This is the new Spartex skin, and with it we got the new emote. Well, if you were using that emote, sometimes he wouldn't actually have facial animations, so with this patch that will be fixed. Again, it's a small fix, but if you're a person that spent money on that skin, unlocked it, got the emote, and then it doesn't actually function how you want it to, obviously that would be a bummer. So fortunately enough, it will be fixed with this patch. And there will be another character who had apparently an issue with her emote as well, and that would be Squirrel Girl. When using her default emote, it would actually lack her facial expressions that were supposed to be happening during the default emote. So with this patch, that will also be fixed. And finally, this one is actually kind of a major one, at least I think so. Again, I don't play as Invisible Woman, so I'm not 100% sure, but from the actual breakdown here, it seems like this would be a pretty big issue. So if you've run into this problem, you'll be happy to know that it's getting addressed with this new patch, and it reads as follows: fixed an error in the recovery rate of Invisible Woman's Guardian Shield. Considering how important Guardian Shield is as an ability, I think it's probably quite important that it worked properly in terms of its recovery rate. You'll be happy to know with this patch, you will no longer run into those problems. So those were the patch notes. Absolutely super duper stoked for the newest update dropping tomorrow on April 24th. I will hopefully see you guys there as we check out the brand new Brain Blast mode live on stream. So that should be a lot of fun. But in addition to that, I also did want to bring this up because I've seen a few people address this and ask me about this. And that was a tweet from XOXLeak, who are obviously very, very credible when it comes to Marvel Rivals leaks over on Twitter, where they essentially tweeted out saying, hey, new hero Colossus, because a couple days ago, we obviously got that Art Vision special from Marvel Rivals. And if you pause at 10 minutes and 47 seconds during that video, you'll notice what appears like the leg of Colossus. And it's definitely the leg of Colossus, like classic design for Colossus. So no doubts in my mind there. But then people were able to find that this was actually most likely just a reference shot for the Speedball special between Colossus and Wolverine that they were probably using when implementing the Speedball special for the Hulk and Wolverine, as well as the Thing and Wolverine. So people obviously maybe jumped to conclusions a little further ahead. Now, keep in mind, XOXLeak also did provide more information on, generally speaking, Colossus, saying that there are data files that seem to point to Colossus already being in development in the game as well, going as far as to not just name the fact that Colossus would be a tank, which is kind of obvious, but even offering names of two possible abilities for Colossus, saying that one of them might be Giant Punch and the other one might be Steel Colossus. So whether or not that was just a reference image to the Speedball special, I'm just stoked about the possibility of getting Colossus as a playable character in Marvel Rivals, especially if we could get a hilarious team up between Colossus and Deadpool after the Deadpool.
Quite unfortunate.
That does it! Oh! Canada!
So there you guys have it. That concludes the breakdown of the latest update that we will be getting tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like I mentioned at the top, don't forget to leave a like. Thank you guys so very much for your continued support and your kindness. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And of course, Like I always say, have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Peace out. I'll see y'all later, alligators.